And it has a lot of benefits. Open your eyes. How do you think about these things? The strengths I have in my life was the persistence of keep doing what I believe in that, and eventually it happens. Hi everyone, and welcome back to a new episode Behind the Wealth. And today's subject is the book review, a book that I have read many years ago, probably 15 years ago. It is a really great book, quite a thick book. And what happened the other day when I was walking around Westfield Shopping Center on my lunchtime, I went through a bookstore I have in the shopping center, which is next to the office. And I usually go and browse around the different books if I find something catches my attention. And I found this little book, Think and Grow Rich. The original book is written by Napoleon Hill, and the original book it is probably 5 times thicker than this, or even more, and it takes a long time to read it. This is a version of the original book, but in a summary. So it takes the subjects and the chapters which is in the original book of Napoleon Hill, summarize it for people who already read the book or they don't want to spend 10-15 hours to read the book. It takes a long time to read that book, really. And what is the benefit of this book? This is an older book written 40 years or so ago. And the main concept of Think and Grow Rich, which is sometimes is a very materialistic and very, worthly, the word rich. But I intend to see to this start as a little bit beyond the materialistic and the wealth creation part of richness. There is about 14 chapters. The one I liked mostly and had influence on my early days, and even now when I was reading it again, I've read the version of the summary version that I hold in my hands now. It is the first chapter, which talks about desire. You cannot achieve something if you don't really have a desire to achieve it. And it has to be specific desire to achieve it, not just a vague desire that it's good to have, a better job. But then you do nothing to get a better job. It's good to have an investment property, but there's nothing you do then to have an investment property. You don't look after your cash flow. You don't look after your protection. For something goes wrong with your income, you don't look after your increase your qualifications or your expertise as a tradesperson or as a professional. Then the other thing also I liked on that book, it is the part of this chapter 2 is the faith. A lot of times we have the desire, but we don't believe on us. And we are the greatest enemy of ourselves sometimes because of low self-esteem, a lot of times a lack of confidence, previous disappointments in doing something. And the combination between desire and faith that the author cultivates and expands, it's very strong. The other chapter, it is imagination. If you cannot imagine and you can't see where you want to be in 10, 20, 30 years later, you really cannot go. It's a matter of luck then, or matter of destiny. Sometimes happens, sometimes it happens and destiny goes through that and your luck, or I believe in blessing. Blessing gives you the way sometimes. And a lot of times to your different directions you take to the world. But having a thought about where you're going, it's also very important, plus the desire, plus the faith that you're going to achieve your goals. Another part of that is the decision-making mechanism, the precision, the persistence. I'm quite believer to persistent because on a personal level, I don't achieve everything very quickly and very easily, just the way I am. It needs a lot harder work from me to achieve something due to different reasons. I will go into that now. And I know one of the things that the strengths I had over my life was the persistence of keep doing what I believe in that, and eventually it happens. The other one, it is the power of the subconscious mind. It elaborates a little bit of this, and it does it a little bit on, I wouldn't say on a spiritual way, but it is like for a power beyond us in the universe. And it has a lot of benefits and open your eyes how do you think about these things? An interesting chapter, it is chapter 10, which is the mystery of sex transmutation. I leave it for you to read that because she's really interested, and how can I put it together in a few words? You know, the greatest thing example I would give is if you go to an old-fashioned takeaway shop, the man usually an ethnic background, a Greek, for example, many times has he works at the back. He prepares all the food. He prepares all the requirements for the shop. Fry the fish, cut the potatoes, do the scallops, all the stuff. And there is in front another person who is very bubbly and very interactive and has a very good eye contact. And this person can talk to a different level. If you are an older man or an older lady, you are a young boy or a teenager or a middle-aged person. And this interaction sort of very, very polite, I would say flirting without be anything wrong and negative with the word. It just makes the relationship a lot more easier. And I think this chapter, it's the only book really I found that this element makes a note of that. And I'll leave it for you to read it because it's really interesting. And I think it works in a very nice and I would say polite or I would say probably true way without anything negative around that. The book is about 110 pages. So it's 10, 15 pages for every chapter. It's a very eye-opening to the different ideas without you spending hours and hours and hours of reading it. Of course, if you want detail and you want all the information, the idea is to go to read the original one, which is, as I said, 5 times thicker than this and more dense. But if you want a quick review or a quick reminder, if you read that book as I did 15 years ago, and I was really lazy to go back and read that book again. So I thought this is a great reminder of where I've read some information, it had an impact on me, and then some sort, time by time, somehow they faded in my mind. And I think this is also an issue when you read books and you have audio books as well. You can have it as audio as well. You get this information, but you don't have time to internalize it. And even if you internalize it for a little while, 80, 90% of that just goes in the background, in the subconscious mind, fade. And if you don't go back again and again, somehow they lose their impact. So going back and read it again, I think it's a great opportunity. And if, as I said, you haven't read it, it's a good time to read it. The summary version, if you want the more detail with the more examples, the original writing from Napoleon Hill. It's a great story and he's a great author as well. So this is one of my favorite books. Till the next time, have a good day.